football coach Joseph Smith. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
I'm glad to hear that. And another great win for the Cats this weekend on the road. A tough test up at Whitworth University. Always a tough battle against one of the teams that has really been right there knocking on the door against you guys for the last decade now. And it wasn't off to a great start. You guys had two fumbles, a muff punt, and a fumble on punt returns, but you were able to get through that. The defense stood strong, kept Whitworth at 3 points, and then you guys were able to execute. The offense was that 5-minute, 27 drive down the field to get on the board and get the lead for the rest of the half, and for the rest of the game, actually. But what did it say about the team to be able to just kind of take us through that first quarter, and what it said about the team to be able to deal with that and still come out and play their best football the rest of the quarter?
Yeah, the trip up to Spokane's always historically it's just been frustrating, I guess, for lack of better terms. And so we got up there and got back without a bus mishap, which has been
no bus
we
issues,
probably
no
were
issues.
probably 70% bus problems, in terms of literally it's been that bad. So so we got up there. That was a great start. We got up there on time, and then as you mentioned, the first quarter was really crazy how that kind of went, and we made a couple miscues catching the football, and I just could not be more proud of how our defense responded. Not only were they were turnovers deep in scoring position, and they had a good opening drive on their end, and so really had 3 scoring opportunities to start the game, and you came out of that with 3 points, and quite frankly, you kind of knew, okay, they're in trouble. Like, you got the ball 3 times inside the 20 and you get 3 points, you typically lose, and so against a good team. So I felt pretty confident after that, and I thought our offense had a tremendous drive down the field. We made some really nice plays. Scored against probably one of the better corners in the conference. Liked that a lot. So I thought that was a tremendous drive, and it gave us a lot of confidence. And then, we only had 9 drives for the game, and we only punted once. We didn't have any turnovers and punted 1 time. So a very good day on offense. Just sort of some strange scenarios that I felt kept us, at bay in that first half. But boy, the defense was just rock solid early on.
Yeah, they were. And just a quick note on that drive: 14 plays, really able to march down the field and do it the right way there on that opening drive to kind of settle everything down.
Mm-hmm.
So now 4 games under the belt this year, 2 really tough road tests with the Huntington game to open the year, and now going up to play Whitworth. Never easy, and especially when it's a good team like they are. All that being said, what do you know about the team now at this point for sure? What is becoming this team's identity?
Well, I think we're still probably trying to figure that out a little bit. We're very veteran in some positions, and it's uniquely veteran with that COVID year, and quite a few 5th-year guys, quite a few 2-3 year starting experience players, which makes for a lot, and so we're very veteran, on the line of scrimmage, and so whenever you have a very veteran team, sometimes they're, we're a pretty even-keeled team. Like, I think we handle adversity pretty well, and I'm pleased with that. We're veteran there, and obviously that, I like where we are with, our D-line and our receiving core. They're just such, they're very dominant facets for us, which open up all kinds of things. And I love the spirit with which our running backs run the ball. They're fun to watch play, and so I guess I like the resiliency in the team. I still think we're finding some leadership roles, and we're still getting better is the key, and we are. I still think there's a tremendous amount of room for improvement on this team, and I'm looking forward to working on that each week.
Yeah. So you mentioned kind of that interesting first quarter, and the defense played really well. It was really a pretty hard-nosed first half all the way through. But then the offense able to get loose for 4 touchdowns in the second. What kind of adjustments did you guys make in the locker room and come out for the second half?
Well, the nice thing is, I've always felt like our team, has a good coaching staff, and I think we have a good system. And so if you have a system and a staff that understands it, you can make adjustments typically and fix what's hurting you oftentimes. As long as everybody does their assignment and does their role, then you can usually adjust the system a little bit and get a little more strength or a little more attention here or there, if that makes sense, and stop what's hurting you. And you usually have the answers, if you have a good system approach. And so, I don't know that we really had to do many things differently. The first half we stalled out on the 1 yard line or the 2 yard line, and then our only drives were stopped by that, and then the 2 minute, so we just really didn't have the ball. In the second half we got the ball and really weren't stopped. So I felt really pleased with how the O-line played. I mean, they played outstanding. That was the difference, is they owned the line of scrimmage. Blake had a clean pocket the entire game, and I thought he played very well. And they were so worried about the deep ball stuff to Colton that they just opened up everything. So it was really neat to see those two receivers just dominate like they're so capable of. And fun day for us. And the D-line was dominant. That's you need your strengths of your team to play well anytime you're playing in a big game.
Yeah, Colton, a good game, and they were so focused on the deep ball, but he was terrific underneath at the same time. But of course, the big superstar on Saturday, Joel Valadez, a fantastic game, 11 catches, 178 yards, 2 touchdowns. We've talked about him a lot. Maybe not enough sometimes, like we mentioned last week with the D-line. The great ones you expect to just be great. But what is it that makes that guy so special and so dangerous as a receiver?
Well, I think, as you mentioned, we got 3 of those guys, and looking forward to getting all 3 of them back on the field together. But I think any one of those guys can. I just haven't seen, really any DB that can cover any one of those 3. And last year there was some more veteran DBs in the league. A lot of those guys graduated. I think the best kid, in my opinion, is number 2 for Whitworth. So I was really pleased at the matchups we had there. But Joel's he's a very, very fine football player in terms of he really understands football, and so he's very cerebral in his approach, and combined with a very strong lower body that he can start and stop. And combine those two together, it's a very dangerous weapon, and Joel's very good. He and like I said, I just think we've got 3 matchup problems for the teams just can't figure out how to cover them. So
it's been pretty incredible to watch, especially against that Whitworth secondary, which, as you mentioned, a lot of turnover in the league this year, but you have to say that one is one of the best groups and one of the most experienced groups, certainly. Another quick note, I guess there's some pretty good Linfield football players that have come out of the Grants Pass area over the years, and we see that with Joel. Switching gears to the defense, Whitworth coming into the game was the number 6 passing offense in the country. You guys were able to keep them under 200 yards for the game through the air. How were you able to pull that off? And again, we talked about it last week with the secondary, but as they just keep coming along and keep getting better, what do you like on the defensive side of the ball there?
Well, the stopping the run, has to be priority 1, and they did that. For the most part, force them into passing scenarios, and if you can just disrupt the quarterback and not allow huge running lanes while doing so, there's a fine line there. So you've got to be able to rush the quarterback but not open up tremendous lanes to escape through. And I thought they did that pretty much down in, down out, and made him uncomfortable, got him off his first read, made him have to go to the second and third reads, and by the time he got there, the coverage was in good position. So it's a very good day.
We know there's a bevy of terrific pass rushers on this team. We saw another terrific one kind of get into the mix, a breakout game for Blaze Holani, 3 sacks. What do you see out of him, and what do you think he brings to that LBC that we've seen just keep another group that's just gotten better each week?
Well, I think Blaze he's fun young man to watch develop. He's got a lot of talent, and he's got a lot of personality too. He's a very nice young man, and plays with a lot of heart, on the field. So those are the things I really like about him. But he's fast, he's powerful, and those are good combinations, for a linebacker. And while maybe the stats looked great for him, those were probably more of a product of the the play, if you will, or the defensive rush. But he was in the right place at the right time and made plays when he had the opportunity.
Yeah, you love to see that out of a young guy in particular, like plays. Coming up at Pacific this next weekend, they've had a pretty solid start to the year for them this season, and they've been the best rushing team in the Northwest Conference at over 162 yards a game and over 4 yards a carry. What will it take to limit that run game and push them out of their comfort zone on their own field?
Well, I think the bottom line with stopping the run is always going to be one-on-one matchups, and you have to win those. And if you're losing one-on-one blocks, you don't run the ball very effectively normally, unless you have a very finesse-oriented or schematic-oriented, numerical advantage-oriented run game, which usually those are Air Force and double slot attacks and things of that sort. This is more of a pro style attack, and so they do a good job of having multiple blockers, finding different ways to get some numerical advantage, and their physical line. I like how they play. They do a nice job. So we'll have to win the one-on-one blocks and be able to get separation and escape and make plays up front. So it'll come down to that defensive line and who wins those blocks.
Yeah. Once again, the Wildcats at Pacific this weekend, the 15th, 1 o'clock kickoff, and we'll, of course, have live audio coverage for you on the LSN. Coach, good luck this weekend. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.